In the heart of 17th century Paris, a city alive with whispers and betrayals, a masked figure slipped through the alleyways. No one knew his name, but everyone feared the shadow he cast. He wasn't just a criminal, he was a master manipulator, orchestrating thefts, duels, and secrets that could topple kings. Rumors spread of his connections to the royal court, of documents stolen that could ignite wars, and of enemies who vanished without a trace. The night air was thick with tension, and the city held its breath. One wrong step, one whispered secret, and the balance of power in France could shatter. Among the cobblestones, a young clerk named Etienne discovered a letter that shouldn't exist, marked with a seal no one dared to open. Curiosity would lead him down a path of blood, betrayal, and history-altering decisions. Etienne clutched the letter, its ink smudged, as if time itself feared its words. It spoke of alliances hidden beneath velvet masks, of soldiers bribed, and of treasures lost to the shadows of war. Every sentence felt like a dagger pressing against the fragile peace of Paris. The masked man, known only in whispers as the Spectre, watched from the rooftops, a phantom among chimneys. He was always one step ahead, predicting movements, anticipating betrayals, and vanishing before the law could even glimpse his face. But tonight, something was different. His eyes caught Etienne moving through the streets, unaware that he now carried a secret powerful enough to ignite flames across Europe. Meanwhile, in the palace, courtiers whispered about a looming threat. The king's advisors debated the sudden disappearance of gold shipments and letters containing plans that could alter alliances with neighboring nations. The tension in the air was palpable, each word spoken like a crack in a porcelain vase. As Etienne ran through the winding streets, a shadow fell across his path. A blade glinted in the moonlight, stopping him in his tracks. "You have something that does not belong to you," a voice hissed. The young clerk's heart pounded. He had stumbled into a world of darkness far beyond petty theft, a world where history itself could be rewritten with a single misstep. The Spectre's influence reached far beyond Paris. In secret rooms of distant fortresses, his agents whispered instructions, moved gold, and intercepted letters meant to maintain peace. The king's army grew restless, unaware that their enemies were puppets in a larger design. Etienne, trembling, realized the gravity of the letter in his hand. It detailed a plot to manipulate the outcomes of battles in neighboring kingdoms. Entire regiments could be turned against one another with false orders. Cities could fall, alliances could crumble, and Europe itself teetered on the brink of chaos, all because of one masked man's meticulous planning. He was haunted by assassins, spies, and corrupt officials who wanted the letter, but he also found unlikely allies. A former soldier named Lucien, disillusioned by war, and Marguerite, a scholar who had studied the secret histories of Europe. Together, they navigated Paris's underworld, seeking a way to thwart the Spectre's scheme. Each encounter with the masked man felt like a test, each narrow escape a lesson in deception. The streets of Paris became a chessboard, and Etienne learned quickly that one false move could cost not only his life, but the fate of entire nations. As weeks turned into months, tensions in Europe escalated. Rumors of battles in distant lands reached Paris. The Spectre's letters had reached generals, sowing confusion, redirecting armies, and inciting rebellion. Cities burned while kings blamed their allies, and citizens suffered under the growing shadow of war. Etienne and his companions uncovered a plan to assassinate a high-ranking diplomat whose death could plunge France into open conflict with its neighbors. They raced against time, navigating a web of corruption and betrayal. Realizing that their every move was being anticipated, the night of the planned assassination, Etienne confronted the Spectre in an abandoned theater. The masked figure moved with uncanny precision, his every motion calculated. "You don't understand," the Spectre whispered. "I am not chaos. I am history itself, bending to my will." A duel of wits and steel erupted. Etienne, guided by desperation and courage, managed to escape with the critical letter intact. But the encounter left him scarred, both in body and spirit. The war outside Paris continued, each battle influenced by the unseen hand of the masked manipulator. News of the Spectre's manipulations reached the courts of Vienna, Madrid, and London. Alliances shifted, armies were misled, and leaders questioned their own advisors. Yet, no one knew the source of the upheaval. The masked man remained a ghost, his true motives obscured beneath layers of deception. Etienne and his companions traveled beyond France, attempting to warn foreign courts and reveal the truth. They faced ambushes, espionage, and betrayal at every turn, yet the courage of a few determined individuals stood against the shadow, proving that even the most calculated schemes could be challenged. Marguerite deciphered codes hidden in the letter, revealing locations where the Spectre had stored stolen treasures and secret war plans. These revelations allowed rulers to regain lost ground, but the masked man always seemed one step ahead, disappearing before justice could touch him. The climax arrived on a stormy night in Paris. The Spectre's ultimate plan was to ignite a revolution that would topple the monarchy. Etienne and his allies raced to intercept the masked man before chaos consumed the city. In a confrontation atop the city's cathedral, swords clashed and secrets were revealed. The Spectre, finally unmasked, turned out to be someone no one suspected, a man of influence embedded in the very heart of the court, whose vision of history was ruthless and brilliant. Etienne and his companions managed to foil the immediate plan, but the aftermath was devastating. The city mourned the lives lost, and Europe continued to grapple with the chaos sown by the manipulations. The Spectre vanished into legend, leaving behind a cautionary tale of ambition, secrecy, and the thin line between order and chaos. As dawn broke, Etienne reflected on the events. One man's shadow had changed the course of history, yet it was the courage and resolve of ordinary people that prevented total disaster. Paris, scarred but resilient, stood as a testament to the enduring struggle between light and shadow, crime and justice, war and peace.